friends, welcome to yet another stationery video. When I was like, I should do more art videos, but this one's a little bit different because I wanted to do a flip through of my Yoseka LAB. This is one of the new Yoseka projects by Amy and Bethany at Yoseka, and they had decided to design a tiny like 2-month-ish planner, so with different layouts, with the goals that it'll help people to decide what kind of planner they like, or like what kind of layout works for them in the planner. In I think like Amy's words was like, so that it'll help people not buy 7 planners like she did. First of all, you might be a little confused, like, oh, why are you doing a flip through when it only came out for a month and it's a 2-month project? So I was really lucky that Bethany gave me an advance on the design file, and I asked her permission to basically like just print it at home and try out the Yoseka LAB itself on my end. So that's why I've had the chance to basically pretty much complete it. I think in exception of like the last week, but it's a layout that I'm familiar with. So anyways, we'll go through it. So the design copy that I received is not the final version, and it's like printed at home, so it's completely different from the product itself. So this one, I'll just show you. This one is the product you'll receive from Yoseka. It's a craft cover with like a little black foil emboss here, and inside is Tomei River paper. I think they said it's the 68 GSM. Sorry, I'm getting over COVID, but I'm pretty much like done. It's just a little bit itchy once in a while. And then they also included this what they call it, like a little instruction with a matrix in the back explaining the layouts and planners that have these layouts available. So I thought this was a really cool like little information insert. Yeah, so this one is the proper copy that you'll receive when you order it from Yoseka in a little plastic sleeve. Yeah, I haven't had the chance to like really look through the final version, but it's not too different from the advance I had. All right, so I was really excited to try this out because I thought it was such a good idea to have like one little space where you could have a whole gamut of layouts and then try them all and you know, decide if you like it or not. And I hope that some of my commentary will help you, I guess, well, understand how I go about planning and how it works in my mind. I certainly did not jive with all the layouts. I'll show you, especially one of the monthly layouts. I could not make it work for me, so I was just like, all right, we'll skip that one. All right, so yeah, this is just printed at home, and then let's flip through. It's not the final version, like I said. In the front, there's like, in the final version as well, there's note space in the front and in the back. Bethany explained that it's for in case you want to use this as a kind of like project planner. That way you can set goals and like steps during your for your project as you go through this planner. But for me, since I just use it as a regular planner, I just put notes here in the front and in the back. I think there's a bit of sensitive stuff that, oh, good job, I covered it. So it's just like notes that I've put. But she did say that the beginning and the end can be like your goals for a project, and then an evaluation towards the end. All right, so this one is actually August monthly. I'm gonna explain that later. So, actually I'll explain it now. So this started out as blank, because this is one of the very common type of monthly calendars. So I decided to just skip this page and then move on to the second monthly layout. So there's 3 monthly layouts. We have a plain calendar over 2 pages, and then we have this, this is where the info comes in handy. I'm like, I forgot where this one was inspired with. It's a vertical Gantt layout. A lot of people do tracking with this, but I did social events and work/online events on the right side, and then there's a space for a little calendar. So this is the second monthly layout. And then the third one is this horizontal Gantt chart, which I'm completely unfamiliar with using. My mind doesn't work in timeline. So this was July, this is August, and then my mind just broke somewhere in between, like here. And then I was like, no, let's go back to the regular common layout. My basic brain was like, okay, we can't do the Gantt chart, so we're gonna go to the regular layout. So I was really happy that there's actually 3 monthly layouts to play with, since I have given up on the horizontal Gantt. But I think in the future I would try it again, probably with another, I guess, like I'll try to like research how people use it, versus, because like this is just me trying to use it. But then I think it would be worth it if I actually looked at how some other people used it in the proper sense. I know like Gantt charts are super useful in project planning, but I think in terms of like my own life, that is like day to day, it's not as relevant. But I know some people make it work, so I think it'd be really interesting to try it again. All right, so these are the 3 monthly layouts. It's pretty straightforward. So the vertical Gantt here, I just put the July's month here, put some notes about my work on Patreon. I have some birthday notes here. And then the vertical Gantt, I put, again, like social and life events on the left side, and then the stream online events and work events on the right. It's really straightforward, nothing too complicated. This one, well, one day I maybe will figure out how to use a Gantt chart. And then the next, we're moving on to the weekly pages. So firstly, we have the vertical layout, which is one of the vertical and horizontal weekly layouts are the most common out there. And I'm really familiar with using both, actually. I really enjoy using vertical when I was in my Hobonichi cousin, because in the front they would have the weeklies for the entire year. So this is not unfamiliar to me. Basically, how I use the vertical layout is here they put some of the hours. So it starts at 6, but I don't wake up till 6:30. So anything before then here, like this little space here, I'll write down like the task of that day, so a little to-do list, and then I'll start basically tracking my tasks during the rest of the day. And then at the end, sometimes I add notes about like how things went and how I felt about certain things. There's also space for me to just like decorate, and also like I really like writing lyrics, so sometimes you'll see like little lyrics here and there. That's pretty much it. And you can tell I tracked exercise on the top little box here. Yeah, basically, yeah, there's some like notes here at the end of the day. Once in a while I'll go through my planner and I'll go through the end of the day and be like, oh, this task was really easy, or like I felt good about this. Yeah, very simple. I love vertical layout, so this works for me. And then here we move on to a horizontal layout. This you'll see in like very commonly in like Traveler's Notebook and Hobonichi Weeks. Again, like there's little dots here. Oh, here. There's like little dots here that divide the section into 4. The beginning here is basically the weeks, and I guess you could write like birthdays or like a little theme for the day. Usually I divide this into like the first, I guess in this case, the second column would be real life events, physical events. And then the second column, I usually do like here, the middle column here, I'll write to-do tasks. And then the last one here is usually like digital stuff, meaning like podcasts I listen to, streams I go on, or streams I mod, or if I'm streaming. Basically anything like digital media goes here. And then on the note page, actually I really like this format because I really like just taking like little notes here and there about like random things. It can also be like a little blurb about what happened that day, because not every day I remember to journal, or not every day I set time to journal. So when I have this little note space at the side, sometimes I write about like what I did, and then when I get time to journal, I'll refer back to my planner to journal about. Like here, I think it says like we went to go on a walk and then we had ice cream, and then I had a good time like chatting with Karen when we went for a walk. Or like here's a recipe note, it's like Taiwanese golden kimchi. That's like something I want to try. And then here I also try to track some little daily tasks, which is like hydration, exercise, there's affirmation, and then there's like a bit of doodle, like did I doodle today? And I'm like, yes. So it's pretty like, I think the vertical and the horizontal layouts are my most like familiar layouts, so I know how to maximize my, I think, use with it. And then the next one, she calls this like a, let me see, page 18, vertical with memo. So there's like days this way and then a giant amount of memo space. So what I did is almost use it like a vertical weeks layout. So in the beginning, this one has nothing. So I write the week's goals and task, and then during as the week progresses, I just take I just make task lists and take notes about things that need to be done. And then on the overhead here, I would write like there's like a lunch appointment, there is like, oh, I baked banana bread. So like I think my life day to day is pretty mundane, so any like larger kind of like activity I'll include in the top. And then the bottom is like very work related, so we have like Ko-Fi, I have like message Bethany, there's sticky clubs, send the files, send stickers, and then I also have like a very loose division of like the top half is the day, and then at night is at the bottom is the kind of like night section. And that's pretty much it for this one. On this week I was actually away to Monterey Bay to go camping with my sister-in-law and Karen. So there was like, here we have like itinerary of places we stopped, and then just list of places. This is like a little map of Monterey Bay Aquarium. Oh, this one is like a little sketch of my Yoseka Hobonichi postcard. I was just like, okay, I gotta get this idea out, so I just put it in here. So I really enjoy having like a scheduling space, but enough area for me to take notes with, and that's just kind of how I function. I'm curious how others will use this. Yeah, I think it's I really like this layout actually. And then here, oh, and one more comment about this. I think this works for me versus the hourly in the front here. So this one is more rigid in the sense that there's hours kind of like indicated throughout the layout, but this one is like just like free flowing. I think why this works for me is because my life currently doesn't depend on appointments. Back when I was doing, let's say, back when I was doing acupuncture, I can see how this would work much better than this free flow format. Cause like I would have to jot in like appointments. Sorry, I just had to cough. But basically, I think the hourly would have worked better if I had a more rigid schedule, but because I don't, the free flow works really well. This is, let's see, page 22 is horizontal quadrants. This layout reminds me of when I used to have moleskin. The format was basically like this. I think it's the small moleskin scheduler, and I also think this is the layout that the Passport Traveler's Notebook has, and so I'm also familiar with that one. It's very similar to the horizontal and memo. It's just that there's no like memo space. It's just more condensed. So basically it's the same-ish kind of function for me. Yeah, not much to say about that part. Like a lot of it is just like task and then like events, task and then events, and then there's a little to-do list here. That's when I went to Yoseka. Oh, this one this one is based off of, it's called vertical quadrant divided. So there's like into 4, and then like each of the 4 is divided to 2. I believe this is inspired from the PAL layout. I firstly when I saw this one, I wasn't sure how I would use it, but on Monday I happened to have caught COVID, so I was like, perfect, I can track my COVID on the right side of the quadrants. So it's been working out really well. I've been tracking my COVID symptoms on the right side, and it's been working out really well. And because I didn't have too many tasks, since most of my tasks was just resting, I just put everything on the left side of each quadrant. Yeah, but yeah, as you can see, I did have plans. I had plans prior to getting COVID, so I was hoping to go to the SF Pet Show, and I had written like, oh, our departure, and then I had made lists of pens I needed to bring because I had an appointment for my pens. And then yeah, basically I had a whole kind of like tiny list of what I wanted to bring to the pen show, and also a little like meetings I had with people at the pen show, but clearly that didn't work out, so it's tracking my COVID now. So what I did was use this little vellum post-it from, I forgot which company, Yoseka, and I just like wrote over it. I didn't mind too much. I didn't want to like cover what I had planned for SF Pen Show, because that was still something I wanted to do. I know other people would just like blot everything out, but this doesn't bother me to see this overlap kind of thing. Yeah, so this is the PAL layout, and then last layout is the vertical quadrant memo style. This one is a layout that you'll find in the hours research notebook. Something I'm also familiar with because I used it last year. So how I used it is, okay, I don't know, we're at the end. How I used it is basically the week note is here. So this week, this is my focus, like Patreon focus. And then at the beginning of each week, what I do, at the beginning of each day, what I do is actually write in a to-do list. And then I'll check them off obviously as the day go by. But then at the end of the day, what I like to do is write about those tasks. So that's what I did last year when I actually had the full research notebook by hours. And I felt like that works really well for me. And that's how I'm gonna repeat this week in particular. So the coming week after I shoot this video. Yeah. And then, you know, decorate a little bit here and there. So this is my use of the Yoseka LAB version 1. Let me know what you think of this little notebook. I know a lot of people were really excited to see this, and it's something that I feel like is really useful, not only for people to decide on, like help people decide on the layout that they would prefer using, but I think it's also fun for like a little, like probably like a little journal challenge. So I use it as a planner, but I can really see people like having a fun, like creative time using this as like a little journal as well. Actually, you know what? I can also imagine like sharing this with someone who's new to journaling and see, like, allow them this little like playground space to discover what they like about journaling or planning, two different things. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to using the actual copy so I can use fountain pens. Since this one was like homemade, I had to use cheaper pens. But yeah, overall I'm really pleased, and I'm really thankful to Amy, not sponsored, but really thankful to Amy and Bethany for letting me test this out in advance, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone use theirs. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and if you are wondering where to pick this up, I will put the link in the description. And yeah, take care everyone. I will see you in the next video.